If I could rearrange the alphabet, I'd put you and I together.
No thanks.
Okay. Hi, would you like to grab a cup of coffee?
Sure. So as you can see, if you're a shy guy and you're trying to approach someone and you really want to ask them out, but you're so scared that they'd say no to you, the truth is that you'll never know until you try. And if that person does say no, don't be afraid to ask somebody else out, somebody else that you may like as well. The thing is, sometimes when you are so shy, you feel like there's no point in even approaching somebody that you like. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that you don't have to resort to gimmicks, which is what I've seen happen sometimes, and we'll go into that with things like PUA. But I think that if you are shy and you're okay with it, if you're okay with it, then I think that's fine. But if it's making you sad, if it's making you miserable because you're missing out on opportunities, you're missing out on living life and having experiences, then rejection is part of that. So someone can tell you, oh, just get over it, stop being shy, but it's because you're trying to protect yourself. You don't want to feel the pain of rejection. You don't want to hear someone saying no or feeling embarrassed. But sometimes, unfortunately, that is part of life. What do you
Yes,
think?
I think hearing someone say no can be painful, definitely, for sure. We're not saying that you wouldn't feel bad about it. But what we are saying is that sometimes with dating, it can be a numbers game. The more people that you approach, the more likely you will get someone who will say yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I was at a club, when I was younger, much younger, someone started talking to me and they told me about pickup artists, PUA, and that they were part of that group actually. And I was just so confused about it at first. I didn't even know that such things existed. So basically, it's men who get together and they teach each other ways to approach women, ways to flirt, because they may not necessarily instinctively know how to do those things. And you know, it makes sense because I know you said it can be a gimmick, but I don't think so. I think it's actually very valuable to be with other men who are maybe facing similar challenges, who are too shy to approach women, but then you're now learning from each other and you don't feel alone in your shyness. What do you think about pickup artists and PUA?
I think that it can help if someone is feeling shy. I think it can give them like a crutch, because if they're wearing like a hat or something that stands out, it can be like a crutch. So if they face rejection, that's not really like their true self in a way, so they can get over the rejection faster. But if you don't have a crutch, if you're just being yourself, and if you don't like yourself, if you have low self-esteem, then it can be more damaging to hear the word no. So I think working on your self-esteem and your self-confidence is really important. Things like your physical health, your mental health. Do you feel good about life in general? Then I think you give off like a positive aura, positive vibe, because you're there, you're having a good time. If you're speaking to someone that you like and she says no, it's not such a big deal because you enjoyed that conversation. You're not always thinking about, okay, this has to lead somewhere. You're just in that moment really experiencing life, and I think you give off that positive energy.
Yes, and I think the thing is, it's not only about approaching a person that you may like. Then you may be afraid about, oh, what in case the person says yes to a date, and now I'm so shy to even go on the date with this person. So what are some of the tips that a person can use, a guy can use when he's going on a date and he's really, really nervous about going on this date?
I think just understanding that the other person may be nervous as well. So you're less in your head and you're more out of your head, thinking about your surroundings. You're thinking about, hey, how can I have a good time? How can we have a good time together? So you're less preoccupied about being awkward.
Yes, women also feel nervous before going on a first date because you also don't know what to expect from the other person. So you have the same concerns and nervousness as well. And really, it's just about having a chat. Think of it as, okay, I'm going on this date, and it's not only about whether that person is going to like you, but also whether you are actually going to like that person as well. You know, it's a two-way conversation, and it's a two-way understanding of whether you think this can go somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, like, if you think about social media, there are so many gurus out there, especially giving advice to young men, and they fall for it because someone is telling you, giving you some advice to like man up, and it's like filling you up with like testosterone, and in a way, sometimes it's you just have to use a bit of common sense. There's no one person who's going to give you like a magic pill. I think it's just working on your confidence, working on, because we talked about PUA, there's no magic line that you can say, because if you think about what is it that you want, do you want to have a relationship? Do you want to just get laid? Because those are two different things. And it depends, we talked about a numbers game. If you go into a club, out of 100 women, you may get half of them straight off the bat may not be interested. Then the other half may be in a relationship. Then the other half may not, they're just out there with their friends. So there's like a small percentage who may be receptive to that. But you are communicating with people. I think if you do it in a genuine way, then things can develop, because you start to create networks, even if it's friends, acquaintances, then you develop more experiences, then you have, for example, you'll get together, you'll go to house parties or go traveling or meet their friends. And I think this is like a healthy way to overcome your shyness.
And I think if you're trying to overcome your shyness, obviously don't think that you can go from 0 to 100 within a short space of time. No, most things in life are gradual, you know? So really step-by-step process. But the more often you put yourself out there, then your fear subsides. And that's true with so many things in life.
Yeah, and I would also say that the older you are, I think the harder it is and the harder it becomes to overcome your shyness. It depends on where you are, but if you're in a community where people are very reserved and already have their group of friends, they have their cliques, so it's difficult to create more friendships so you can overcome your shyness. If that's the case, I would say join groups, join fitness classes if you go to the gym, and actively engage in conversations, actively invite people. Don't wait for people to invite you. Invite them for a drink, a coffee. If there's a museum or exhibition, this way you can start to build up and share experiences.
I also know that people have met each other through groups, like even Facebook groups, for instance. Like, just say they joined a group of people that enjoyed going hiking, and then they started dating people within the group. So there are ways around it, you know. There definitely are. Don't feel like because you are now shy, you are never going to meet somebody, you are never going to go on that date. It's also about creating the right mindset and putting out positive energy about yourself, and also about what you're going to attract to your life. And it really isn't mumbo jumbo, you know. Once you start talking positively to yourself, it changes the way you move in life. It changes the way you actually speak to other people, because you feel positive about yourself. People are drawn to people who are positive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I can give you an example. If you go for a run, you feel really good afterwards. You have that runner's high. Or after you've been to the gym, you feel really good. But that feeling kind of goes away after a while. But if you take time to really think about your own self-esteem and building up your confidence, if you're thinking about your career, your hobbies, your interests, and really focusing on those things, it can build up like a strong sense of worth. And then you can look at overcoming shyness in the same way. You can say, okay, what can I do to become less shy? What can I do to become more confident? So you have to go outside of your comfort zone and accept that feeling uncomfortable is okay, and accepting that hearing someone say no or hearing rejection is normal, is part and parcel of living a fulfilling life. Because if you don't try, you're not going to get what you want. And sometimes it's easy just to say, it's okay, it doesn't matter, and you can just stay in your own bubble, play video games, or just, say that, okay, it's okay to be shy. But if deep down you feel unhappy, you can definitely improve.
And then in the workplace, if you don't want to be shy because you want that client to respond to you, you want to be more vocal in your team meetings, similarly, start small. Start by saying something in the team meeting. You don't want to be the quietest person in the team meeting. You want to be able to pitch your ideas. So practice on a friend at home, practice on a family member. The more you hear yourself speak, the more confident you become. You don't feel so scared to hear your own voice. What is some of the advice you'd give somebody who's shy and doesn't want to be shy in the workplace?
Yeah, I would say that if you're in a team meeting, for example, and you're thinking about something to say, act on it. If the thought comes into your head, say it. The longer you try to think, okay, I need to say the perfect sentence, by that point, the time has passed. So practice. I mean, you can practice at home, give speeches, record yourself. The danger with this is that you can start to be very rehearsed. So just practice talking about random topics and watch yourself back. Look at your facial reactions. Are you smiling? Do you have bad body language? Are you hunched over? So you want to start off on a positive first step. So like you said, get used to hearing your own voice and just practice, really.
And definitely in the team meetings, I remember once I took too long to actually verbalize my thoughts, and I was just afraid to at that point. And then the next thing I know, somebody's saying exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I should have actually said what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And not overthinking came into play.
Yeah.
So yes, sometimes you're gonna stumble, like I just stumbled right now with my own words.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because you're human. So go out there, make mistakes, but don't be so afraid to take a chance on yourself. And it really is about putting yourself out there. And yes, rejection is there, and rejection is difficult, but not everyone's going to reject you, be it in the workplace or with your dating life. And what is the final thoughts from you?
I would say try not to fall into the trap of thinking if I watch someone that's like a guru, that they are going to automatically turn me into someone that is super confident. Believe in yourself, but understand that you have to try, you have to fail, but it's not really failing, it's learning. You're developing your own personality. You don't want to copy someone else. You want to be you want to be authentic. So, warts and all. So just be yourself. If you say something and you feel embarrassed, learn from it. And don't be scared, just be you, I think.
Yes, and if you are listening to advice, put it in practice. Don't just keep listening to advice, but put that advice in practice and see how it unfolds. So best of luck to you. Let us know in the comments below, what is your advice to someone who is shy, especially a guy in particular, and how can they overcome their shyness if they want to do so? Thank you so much for watching. Bye.